You ever wonder what really drives the world's most successful people? Is it some kind of genius they're born with? Dumb luck? Or is it something else? Something forged in the fire of real hardship? Today, we're going to unpack the playbook of a leader who figured out how to turn his biggest pains into his greatest purpose. But hey, before we dive in, I gotta give a huge shout out to a group that just gets that spirit of relentless learning, the Atom AI Expert community. You guys show up every week to explore new frontiers, and that's the perfect mindset for the story we're about to get into. So Hayes Barnard has this, let's call it a provocative question he asks other crazy successful leaders. And what he found is that, yeah, more often than not, their incredible drive comes from this deep well of personal struggle. And his own story, it's the perfect case study. To really get how he succeeded, we have to go all the way back to the beginning, back to where the challenges of his youth literally became the fuel for his ambition. I mean, look at this. Barnard's childhood was the textbook definition of being an underdog. For him, it was daddy issues and a learning disability for sure. Watching his mom work 3 jobs just to keep a roof over their heads, that lit what he calls a fire in his tail. But it wasn't just about drive. It gave him this deep-seated compassion, a real sense of responsibility to take care of other people. Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting. He didn't just, overcome these challenges. No, he completely reframed his relationship with them. He turned his pain into his biggest advantage. He asks us to think about a pretty radical idea. What if those moments, the ones you thought were your absolute lowest points, the times you felt like a total loser, what if those were actually the greatest gifts you've ever been given? It sounds kind of crazy, right? But this counterintuitive idea is the absolute core of his whole philosophy. And for him, this wasn't just some nice theory. The light bulb moment came during the 2008 financial crisis. He was laying off hundreds of people, feeling like an absolute failure. But that intense, gut-wrenching pain is what led him to start his foundation, Give Power. He realized that the flex point of pain is exactly what drives purpose. And this powerful realization, it became the foundation for his entire business philosophy. That purpose isn't some fluffy, nice-to-have thing. No, it is the actual engine of prosperity. Think about it. In business, anybody can copy your idea, right? So the only real way to win is to win the execution competition. And to do that, you have to win the people competition. Purpose is how you do it. It's the mission that attracts the absolute best of the best. And this just nails the point perfectly. A players, the top talent, they have options. They're not just looking for a paycheck. They want to make a real impact. If your mission is big enough, if it's about more than just profit, you can build a whole tribe of winners. So next up, we're going to see how this whole philosophy got put on steroids, thanks to the lessons he learned working side by side with 2 absolute titans of modern business. So from Larry Ellison at Oracle, he learned all about the power of a ridiculously good product. Ellison showed him you could literally sell millions of dollars of software, basically air on a CD back then, because the product was just that amazing. And then there's Elon Musk. Talk about a different vibe. From Elon, he absorbed this moonshot mentality, the relentless pace, the willingness to sacrifice everything, and that magnetic ability to attract a tribe of brilliant people who are all in on a world-changing mission. And all of this, his childhood, the pain, the lessons from these giants, it all culminates in his masterstroke. A business model that isn't just about doing good. It's a system where doing business is doing good. Okay, you have got to check out this flywheel. It's genius. At his for-profit company, Good Leap, every single transaction they do automatically triggers a $20 donation to his foundation, Give Power. Now get this. That one $20 fee is enough to provide clean drinking water for one person for 20 years. 20 years! But wait, it gets better. Employees and partners then go on trips to actually install these water systems, and they come back with what he calls a grateful perspective, this profound sense of purpose that just pours rocket fuel back into the whole machine. It's a perfect self-reinforcing loop of profit and purpose. So you might be wondering, what keeps a constant innovator like this learning? In a pretty cool twist,
He says he spends half his time in the car now just talking to his AI. He treats it like having a certified genius right there in his pocket, constantly firing off questions and learning new things.
And that constant hunger for knowledge, that drive to have a genius in your pocket, that is the exact same spirit that brings the Atom Expert community together. Every single week, without fail. For you guys, the learning truly never stops. Barnard's final piece of advice is to always, always believe in a better way, to never stop innovating. So I guess the question for all of us is, what's the better way you believe in? And how can you turn your own adversity into the superpower that gets you there?